And welcome on in as we rejoin you here right next to the University of Dallas on their rugby pitch as we are here for the D2 women's battle between Austin Valkyries and the team from San Antonio. The Riveters giving up the initial try already. Chelsea Arambula scoring that first try for Valkyries. Justin Simmons alongside Wendy Young, and Wendy, has been a terrific weekend of rugby action. I know the weather kind of changing up the plans, but after everything started going, people coming out having a great time working on their tan today and seeing some really top-notch rugby as this kick is going to be offline. 5-0 lead for the Valkyries.
Yeah, it's really been a tough weekend with the weather. We really appreciate everybody sticking with us when we had to stream one field yesterday. It just came down to a matter of resources and the streaming team having staff. So we were able to record those matches, and they've been uploaded. I've seen a couple go up already on our YouTube site. But this should be a really good match. Austin, familiar with being here. San Antonio, this is their first trip.
Yeah, the San Antonio squad, I mean, honestly, I can't say that I've seen them too much in the world of Texas rugby, but they have been making some headway here recently, a really strong showing to get to this juncture of the season. And even though they go behind early on here, you know that they have that fighting spirit to contend to come back.
Yeah, we had two clubs in San Antonio, two women's clubs in San Antonio for a couple of years, and they decided to kind of, I think, work together again, and they've combined the Riveters and the Armadillos again. So we've got one really strong club in San Antonio, and it's clearly worked out for them.
Yeah, sometimes two heads better than one, and combining powers has been working well for them. But right now behind, Valkyries just sending this into clearance. Harris, it was a good kick, but trying to chase it down are the Riveters, and that ball ate up tons of meters. And now she's in real trouble. This ball loose again near that goal line. Riveters on possession.
Hey.
But San Antonio, just by the skin of their teeth, able to keep possession just barely. It was so dangerous just as that ball was just dancing on the goal line. Still not out of danger just yet as the Valkyries continue to push down on pressure defense. And the loose ball turns into a try. Great heads-up play for the Valkyries. It looks like it was Harris, the number 10, who flew in and touched it down.
Yeah, and I know her as Snacks, so really good try there. She just had to land on it, essentially, and touch that one down. So really good job jumping on a loose ball.
It's funny that you mentioned that. The very first roster I was given from the Valkyries here today from head coach Luis Hernandez, it was a name of the players, but it was all their nicknames, so what they wanted to be referred to. So, yes, as you know, her government name is Kayla Harris, but she affectionately known as Snacks, and she snacked on that loose ball as it was prime for the picking. And right now, it's the Valkyries with a 10-0 lead, and you can now make that 12-0 after the conversion. So try in an additional score.
Yeah, quick start for the Valkyries. San Antonio a little bit on their heels, but like Justin's been saying, they've had a tough season all year, and they came out on top actually for the season. So really, when we talk about underdogs, it should be Austin.
Well, I mean, I don't mean to give away too much on the broadcast here, but you've been hands-on with this event since before we even got started. I wanted to just I'll get your thoughts here in a minute, just how everything else has been going on, but, you know, terrific partners here in the city of Irving and Fort Worth to work along with us, especially with the inclement weather out in Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, we knew the weather was going to be bad all week, so the Dallas Reds, who are the hosts, have been working all week to have a backup plan, and they have great relationships with Boswell High School, where we had some of the divisions play yesterday, and then we've got luckily one of the Reds' former players is the coach of the UD men, so we were able to have that connection as well. So
hey,
it's all about the connection.
It's definitely nice to know some people in some high places. But, you know, one of the things I was talking with Larry just a moment ago in the last game is just like you can go around the world, you can talk about rugby, you played, you reffed, or some form that you participate in the game, and you'll instantly find another brother or sister out there for you.
Yeah, it's definitely afforded. I think almost anybody here has probably gone somewhere and slept on someone's couch that they didn't know 10 minutes before.
But it's just like, hey, I'm a rugger too, and that's usually enough to get your foot right in the door. Valkyries with possession as they look to add to their lead. This is a good kick. Again, trying to eat up some meters. This time fielded cleanly by San Antonio. Here's the return. High into the air is San Antonio. Nicely done. And she completed a very long up and under as she was able to catch it on the half volley. Did Ida Gutierrez.
And there's really good stories on both sides for these clubs. San Antonio gets a lot of UTSA players. They have a little bit of high school girls rugby down in San Antonio as well that's starting to feed into the program. And then when you look at Austin, they get a lot of the Texas players, UT. So a lot of young college kids are coming up and really stepping up to the club side of the game. It's really exciting.
Well, this is great to see. I mean, the growth of the game, especially with the women in the United States, has been great. And you can see this is a tantalizing run. Tessa Dennis will touch it down. Tessa Dennis just goes by Tessa. Call her Tessa, 5 points after the try. What a run from her. Really was just able to speed through the would-be defense.
Yeah, really nice job there, just really recognizing that she had a lot of space on the outside. She got a nice pass from Brenda Ramirez. A little fun fact for you, a cardio nurse. Gave her a nice little pass. She was able to get that one in.
Yeah, there's already great unity with this Valkyries team. You can see they have almost a sense of ESP, like they know exactly where they're going to be, despite the side still kind of developing into a new formidable side in that second division for the Valkyries.
Yeah, I think, having, 40 players on their roster of the Valkyries, sometimes 50, I think being able to practice together, they try to travel a lot together. We try to accommodate all clubs in the TRU. If they've got multiple sides, we try to let them travel together because it's just really helpful. Sometimes they share jerseys, they share clubs, they share, coaches. So keeping them together really helps with that cohesion, and we're seeing that today.
Yeah, and then ultimately that just makes for a better product on the field because the style of play will be better, and that's something that we have definitely seen with the increase of the popularity of the game here in Texas. As this ball is going to go offline, conversion no good, but it's a 17-0 lead as the Riveters from San Antonio in the blue jerseys, blue shorts with the red and white trim going behind here in the first half of play to the Austin Valkyries, who are dressed in that white and red top jersey with the black sleeves, black shorts. Riveters going from left to right, Valkyries going from right to left. And it's turned out to be a really nice day here, especially with the sunshine behind some of the clouds, but I know there were some people working on their tans earlier just because of the heat that we've had here.
Yeah, it kind of got warm around that second game of the day. It started to tick up, so we've started doing water breaks today if you've been watching, for a little bit of player safety.
Well, I know it's well appreciated from the players to get that extra little breath in and get to quench their thirst as they continue the battle on. But the Valkyries unable to get this ball back, and it's going to be a much-needed penalty to San Antonio.
Yeah, we'll have a scrum here to San Antonio, and this really, I think, will be their first kind of attacking platform, so we'll look to see what they do. Looking at just size alone, San Antonio might have a little bit of a weight advantage, but we'll see what they can do with it.
Yeah, it looks like they have some ladies that can create a good push, but it's all about sustaining the drive, and we'll see if San Antonio can do that. Real first test of the day for both sides here when it comes to the scrum. And this will be fed in, and San Antonio getting a good push there. Able to make some room as they swing this ball out wide.
Ooh, nice little behind the back pass.
And that could have worked out dangerously. Instead, it worked out well. San Antonio on the run. Another creative offload on the way down. San Antonio able to maintain possession, at least for right now.
Got a bit of ceiling on Valkyrie's part, so it looks like San Antonio wants to go quick.
Yeah, Valkyries getting a little overzealous defensively.
Yeah, they're definitely one of those teams that'll counterattack. If there's a little bit of a sleep at the ruck, they'll come and try and push it over. We've talked a lot about the players. We can switch gears here and talk about the referees a bit. We've got Kat Roche in the middle, longtime Texas referee. She's been here for about a year, so a really, really long time.
Yeah, I saw her doing some AR work earlier today, too.
Yeah, lots of double duty. She's assisted by Brendan Cosma out of Waco, and Ozzy, I'm not going to even try his last name. He's from Houston.
Well, Ozzy, one of the brothers that was refereeing earlier today, too, so a lot of double duty for these referees and ARs.
Yeah, definitely. We appreciate all their hard work to make sure these games can happen.
But it's definitely a love of the game, and it's a passion for everybody involved. It's been good to us. I say us. I mean, I've benefited from rugby as well, but I mean, I feel that the game really, if you've never played it before, you might just be watching your friends. Might be a good time to come out and give it a shot.
San Antonio's got some positive play here. We've got lots of nice faces happening.
So Elliott getting this ball out quickly. On the run is Gonzalez, and she'll be brought down from behind. San Antonio trying to make their first points of this contest, and they're moving well now as they're starting to connect these passes. Nice duck inside, but the Valkyries, though, they don't travel alone. They're able to travel in groups and make these tackles.
Yeah, we're seeing some double tackles, which can be a good thing, but then you're limited on your numbers. San Antonio might just need to be a little bit patient here.
Yeah, if you're San Antonio, are you trying to find like that one hole on the outside? Because it closed down quickly. I thought they were going to find it right there.
It's a little bit of a, rats on a Cheeto right now, Austin's defense.
But this is a good, powerful run by Fillmore as she was able to keep possession. And now just going right into the fray.
So dangerous tackle there, so just need to bring that down.
Yeah, Kelsey Campbell getting taken down around that collarbone area.
So another opportunity for San Antonio here.
If you're San Antonio, well, I was going to ask you if you would try to kick for points here. Instead, they won't even let us think about it.
Yeah.
They decide to just take it on the run. And ultimately, they'll know what works best for them. Nice hands on the outside. But the Valkyries establishing this high line. And they've been tenacious on defense here in the first half.
Yeah, nice launch that they've got. They can see if they can keep it the whole match.
Still not much room to work with, though, as the Valkyries just shut down this Riveters attack. Another two-man tackle.
And that's Shipman on a big break there, number 7 for the Valkyries. Denisha, she's a UT graduate. Another penalty. So Valkyries, are going to get the chat. Here's the double whistle. So too many penalties at this point.
And this is a good job by the referee, just trying to keep the peace here. Don't let this game get out of hand too much. And having a nice talk with the captain here for the Valkyries.
Yeah, Roche, a really experienced referee, talking to Captain McGee or Brick. Just having them, a couple penalties. They're not necessarily all the same. We've had a dangerous tackle, one not rolling and off of our feet, or the couple of penalties she's talking about. So not a real trend yet, other than they're getting penalized a lot.
So that was Fioli who got taken down with a little extra gusto. And I wanted to ask you if you think they would go with kick for points, but again, they're just going to take the quick kick.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they don't have a kicker. We haven't seen them use that option yet, so they're not necessarily going quickly on these. But sometimes you just don't have a kicker, right? Or you're not confident in them, or you have a play that you're going to work off of.
That's true, and they're also going to the win a little slightly here right now, so maybe something they don't want to give up, especially if they feel that they can get this try. And right now, they look like they're headed in that correct direction if they're looking to break into the scoring in this game.
There's a little kick, yeah.
Oh, fielded very well from the Valkyries as she tries to get out of the goal line zone. And it was even better taking down tackle from behind. Nice run by San Antonio and Evelyn Fillmore. In San Antonio, persistence pays off as they get their first try of this championship matchup.
I think it's one of the locks. I can't quite tell. Let's see if she get her number turned here. She's with the long braid, just like down most of her back. Was able to sneak that one over, it looks like.
Well, it was a total group effort. Everything from getting the ball outside to the backup tackle that came back from behind that was able to reset the start of play where San Antonio was able to keep possession. So really, it was their defense that led to this offensive score.
Yeah, they were helped a little bit by those penalties, but took really good advantage of those penalties. 3 penalties in a row, so Austin kind of on their back foot. And then San Antonio just kind of keeping it in the middle of the pitch and really exploiting those posts and defense players.
And Tracy, we talked about this. Tracy, I'm sorry, Wendy.
You did it.
I know. I was trying not to. I don't know why I thought about
Everyone does it.
I'm sure everybody does it, but I've been really good about it since then.
Well, and you knew Tracy first.
Yeah, that's true. I did know Tracy first, but this kick is up and good. So we were talking about the kicker, Wendy. They do have one. She was able to convert on the conversion. So now it's a 17-7 game, only down by a couple of tries. So San Antonio well within striking distance now. And after getting this score, this really has to help the momentum for the Riveters.
Yeah, I think just kind of let them know we do belong here. We're okay. Let's get back to our game plan. Maybe one of the problems here is the kicker's the 9. Or she's the 13. I thought she was the 9. So yeah, we'll have to figure out. The 12 just did a grubber and the 13 is kicking for points. So maybe it's just not their choice to kick for space. So
Adia Gutierrez. I thought she was going to field that ball again. Instead, it is fielded by San Antonio, still cleanly on the kick. Going in for that tackle was Amanda White, who was able to bring the ball carrier to ground. Riveters trying to move this ball up toward the halfway line. Now they're starting to put everything together. You saw after they scored that try, Wendy, the facial expressions changed on San Antonio. It looked like they were a little shocked at first, but now they've really settled in.
Yeah, I think it was what we were talking about in the game before. You know, Hart was down by a couple of points in the men's match before this, and we really felt like they should have taken points because anytime you can get on the board, it's just a lift, and we're clearly seeing that here now.
Yeah, now they look calm and cool. They have purpose with their movement, and right now it's Austin who's on the back foot, but that could help them out as the runner was taken into touch.
Yeah, Austin really likes to work from these platforms, so you'll see a lot of movements in their back line from their lineouts and scrums. They like to run a lot of those blocker plays, you know, inside switches, things like that, off of set piece.
We will see if the precision is there. It all starts with the line. It was a good lineup contested by both teams. Valkyries coming out with it. Nice hands. And she goes right into the contact. So Valkyries with possession. Oh, and she bowls over one would-be tackler.
Yeah, it was Dietrich. Really nice job there.
Spun out here toward the near side. Plenty of players with her in tow. It's Ramirez trying to set the ruck, and it does form. And the ball into the hands of White. And Amanda White pulled down. You can see her trying to settle the ball. Valkyries still maintain possession.
And Forecourt's got the ball now. She's a former All-American. I guess you don't get it taken away, but she's a USA Rugby All-American. She's played on several select sides. She's definitely a player.
Yeah, Julia Forecourt. So much talent. I mean,
she's also battled back from 2 or 3 ACL surgeries. She's had a tough time at rugby, but just can't give it up. She actually just came off of jaw surgery. She's had so many injuries because of rugby, but
wow.
Can't stop.
That is just pure toughness, but that's what I expect to find in this game. Passion and toughness all mixed together. And the Valkyries have the numbers, and we'll also have the knock. So close, yet so far.
Yeah, B just couldn't hold on to that one. It was just right outside of her hands, and you just sometimes wish as a player, maybe I shouldn't catch that one. Maybe I should just let it bounce and try to get it on the bounce.
Would have, could have, and should have, but I mean, you're just taught. You work on it every day in practice. You know, catch it with your hands, make sure you secure the ball, because you just don't want to give the other team a chance to fall on the loose ball. But the knock being called, and give credit to San Antonio. Their defense standing strong when they could have easily broken there near the try line. Instead, they'll have the scrum, and they had a good push last time, so we'll see how it goes this go-around.
Yeah, I mean, they're under a little bit more pressure here, but so far they've looked stable in the scrum.
So this is fed in, but this time the Valkyries getting a good push as it started to bow up in the middle. San Antonio still with possession. This is Gutierrez trying to find some room, able to get past one tackler. Shakes off a second, is wrapped out from behind. She offloads it smartly.
For Portlock, who's also a referee, I'm just going to throw that in there.
I know a lot of these people involved in the game.
Dual citizens.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. They definitely know what it's like to have some feelings for the referee because they've done it. They don't like to be yelled at. No referee likes to be yelled at. But they just take it with a grain of salt and they go about their business. But as a player, that they switch on a different gear. And here come the Valkyries after getting the ball back. Terrific hard running that will lead to 2 broken tackles and a try scored for Desiree De Leon.
Yeah, just switches just like that. You know, San Antonio again not choosing to kick. The 9 was back there, and I think she thought about it again, but just not choosing to kick, wanting to run that out. We do often see that, players wanting to run the ball out, but sometimes that kick just relieves all that tension for everybody.
Well, it was crazy just how quickly they were able to get into their offense as soon as they were able to recover, because like you mentioned before, Austin very good with their switches, kind of with their overloads, and this one was just a quick switch on the fly.
Yeah.
Got a little end around and then had enough room, and it was a good run though. Very nicely done as she was able to break through the final 2 tacklers. And you're starting to see a lot of hands over the head, hands on the waist of San Antonio. You have to wonder how much of this heat's taken out of them as they've been having to play on the defensive for the majority of this first half.
Yeah, it's definitely warm. Yesterday we were lucky to stay in the 70s. Today it's 84, so we've been doing water breaks all day. I'm telling you, I've been standing over underneath that referee tent over there all day, and there is not a breeze over on that side of the pitch. It's only on this side.
Oh, okay.
It is warm over there.
I did not realize how beneficial it was to be on this side. Valkyries will benefit off of that kick. We'll go into a short water break here as they were able to get the try as well, and then the conversion.
So yeah, we sit at 22 for the Valks, 7 for San Antonio. Seeing some sparks of life from San Antonio that I really think that Austin, if they can keep their discipline, they're still going to have some difficulty keeping this side down.
And San Antonio is just right now, look at the beginning of the game, it looked like they came in maybe a little over their head. They weren't sure they were supposed to be here necessarily, trying to find their groove. They got that score, really settled them down, but now it's starting to become more of a balanced fight. Everybody's done filling each other out. It seems that the Valkyries have found their groove and now are delivering their best hits. And San Antonio, while they have absorbed a couple, eventually they started breaking. So now they'll have to come back.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. San Antonio a couple years ago was just in our women's D3 league, which was just kind of we required it essentially for new teams to just get into to have a club. We were like, hey, go play in the D3, schedule a couple of your own matches to show us you can exist, and they did that for a couple of years. And then now they've been in the D2, I want to say 2, maybe 3 years. And, been a middle of the pack of the team until we had the Armadillos and the Riveters come together, and so excited to see him here at this championship match. Their first year kind of back as their own team, and I know they got some new coaches and some new leadership members. I think it's really exciting that they were able to weather a really tough we've got Little Rock in the league, and we have
it's not an easy
couple
league.
Of Dallas teams. I mean, it's a really tough women's D2 league, and so excited to kind of see a new team emerge.
And it's good to see what you guys were able to do with McAllen earlier today in their women's game. I'm from that area, Texas. Rugby, not necessarily a big game. I know the Knights, their men's side, they've made multiple trips here, but the women's side, really a rather new deal. And to see those ladies come together and to see the help that you guys were able to provide for them and some of the other players around the Dallas area to step in and help them out as they continue to grow and learn the game. I mean, it's just beautiful to see. So you never know when you'll see them in the final.
Oh, I know. I mean, they drove 8 hours to play, 80
this morning
today.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them drove overnight. McAllen. So we really appreciate their sacrifice, and they've been having 22 players at practice. So, Alex Ramirez has been down in the Valley for... Can you call it the Valley? I don't know if we
Yes,
call it.
Okay,
cool.
You call it the Valley.
Good, cool. He's been down there for 30 years, doing rugby. And so he's stepped up and helped with the women's program, and we're hearing rumors that Corpus Christi will have a women's team next year. So we're really starting to see rugby come out of South Texas, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, you're starting to get to see it from point to point in this great, expansive state. There's a lot of room in between, though, that hopefully...
Yeah, it's a lot of travel, but that's all right. We try to balance it out as much as we can.
Well, sooner or later, the teams will get closer as we have the restart in play after the water break. San Antonio trying to move this ball toward the halfway line as they are behind 24-7 after the try and the conversion from Austin just moments ago as the Valkyries do hold the lead. Still here in the first half of play, about a little bit past that midway point in this game, or at least in the first half, I should say.
Yeah, and just a little bit of no support there for San Antonio, so Kat Roche rightly calling ball carrier not releasing, so a little bit of a break there for Austin, and expect to see them, Snacks, kick this one out and have a set-piece line-out will be the goal.
Do you know why she is called Snacks?
Yeah, it was something from Texas. I can't remember. I
was going to say, can you say that?
No, I was the coach, but I can't remember. I think it was on a long trip. And I might be mixing this up because I played rugby a long time, but there was some on a long road trip where there was a lot of food and it got ate and nobody would claim it. But she, we all knew it was her kind of thing.
She was snacking on it? Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, I think it was something along those lines.
It's funny. After all the years, all those memories, they're all great. They kind
together.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you're like, wait, what team was that? Was I playing? Was I coaching? Was I reffing? Yeah. So a nice kick by Snacks there. Snacks came, when I coached her at Texas, she came to us as a rather shy player, I would say, and really wasn't sure what to do. We kind of started her on the wing, and then she just slowly moved her way in, played at 14, 13, came to 12, and then we had a talk, and we were like, I think you can be a 10, and she was like, I don't know.
There's a lot of responsibility at 10.
Yeah, exactly. She played 10 at Texas a couple of times, and it was, when she moved to Austin is really where she kind of stepped into that position, and arguably harder to do on a club side, so I'm really proud of where she's come from and being able to lead the Valkyries. It's amazing.
Yeah, it can be a little difficult. I mean, everybody coming off of work might not necessarily get to practice with your full 15, even in a competition like this. So everybody sometimes having to make those sacrifices, put everything together on the fly. Valkyries able to get the line out, and now trying to work here toward the near side, and nowhere to go. San Antonio hot in pursuit as they're able to tie up the ball carrier. Fioli again. Ball is loose, picked up by White, and we might get this is going to be a I wanted to say it was going to be a knock-on penalty, but
Yeah, I think it's just a knock-on, and I really think that was Fillmore coming up hard on the line. I think she's wearing 13 today for San Antonio. She's really coming up quick. You can tell she's also one of their attack players on when they're on offense, because they're always trying to get the ball to her. So I assume she's quick, and hopefully she'll be able to get some of that space so we can see some of her skills.
well, we do know that San Antonio has some skill. They have the runners on the outside if they can get it into their hands, but right now they just haven't been able to get it back into the groove, so to speak, as they have been unable to get past the halfway line, at least in the last 5 to 8 minutes of play.
Well, and then against the head, Austin stealing that scrum. So now they've got, a 10-meter attacking platform.
Okay, good tackle here, though. And that will drive the Valkyries a couple of meters back.
Shifting it quickly.
Oh, nice hands. And now Stone has the room to work with.
Just giving that little dummy there and freeze that defensive line. Back out to Tess now. Here comes forecourt. She might dig this one out. We'll see. Oh, penalty against the attack ceiling.
Well, I was going to say this ball was going to come out eventually, right? And it was the referee that was going to decide when this ball was coming out. And she makes the decision here with the call. San Antonio again, able to dodge the proverbial bullet as they get the ball back, and they're going to try to send this one into touch. Good kick.
So now we kick. So, yeah, maybe it's just a choice with the wind, or we'll have to see why we're not always kicking for touch there on our penalties.
24-7 our score. In case you just tuned in with us here on the TRU Rugby channel on YouTube, glad that, again, you can join us here for today's contest. Smash Justin Simmons alongside Wendy Young. See, I told you I get it right this time.
Yeah, right.
I know we have plenty of viewers out there, including Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy is watching because she corrected us earlier when he called me Tracy.
It's good to say hi to her, as I know that she is viewing as well as other rugby fans from around the state and around the country for that matter.
Yeah, we do really apologize for not being able to stream some of those matches yesterday. We had a couple of women's D2 matches and a men's D2 match we weren't able to stream yesterday. It really just came down to we had to make a decision. We only had one streaming team and we had to pick a field. So we picked one, and we know there was some heartburn over that, so we apologize, but sometimes that's what happens. The alternative is we don't play rugby at all, so I was excited we got to play rugby.
True. And I think most of these teams understand that it's still a rather new thing, and the coaches making their adjustments of having the rosters ready. And it's all new, but it's great to see that, TRU utilizing the technology and bringing the clubs closer together in a sense where now you can actually see who you're playing against and have an idea of the people that you'll meet.
Yeah, I mean, we're the first CR to stream championships. We've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, it's been inconsistent.
And it just seems like it's a normal thing, but it costs money and time and expenses, and so.
No, but you guys have been doing a terrific job here.
Yeah, we're happy to do it, but just realize that we're one of the only CRs that do it.
Well, hopefully you guys will become essentially the pioneers.
That's the goal. We want to set the standard, right?
Yeah.
And we run full tech zones for this. We run full referee teams. I mean, that's the goal, is we want to be one of the higher standard CRs out there.
So this will be a put in for San Antonio. I mean, they've had some success today. It's Elliott. She'll feed this in, but the Riveters, they need to get something going to close out this first half on a positive note, because they've been a little stifled here ever since that initial score.
Yeah, so on this one, the props are kicking their butts out, so they were under a little bit of pressure. I think it was Brick there. She kicked her butt out and was able to start kind of driving to the side as a result. So Kat rightly punishing that one and getting a penalty for San Antonio.
And it looks like we'll have, I want to say, an alteration being made here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. It looks like maybe a blood sub, maybe. Is it 11? I can't tell.
Yeah, it looks like it's Fillmore, and she's holding on to the front of her jersey.
Yeah. So maybe just took a knock there, or maybe some asthma or something. Oh, she is getting an inhaler, but that's a bummer.
Well, maybe that was the question. Is that a true sub? I don't see any blood being cleaned up.
Yeah.
So it looks like that's just going to end her day. Maybe she took a hard hit to the chest. That does happen sometimes in the fray. So Campbell, she powers through. San Antonio, are they going to call the knock? And yes, we will. Valkyries ball now.
Just a little bit messy, so we'll clean it up and have a scrum here.
Still trying to get back into the flow of this game. Garcia, scrum half for Austin Valkyries. Liz getting ready to put this ball in.
Yeah, keep mixing her up with Chelsea Arumbala because they're double braids.
And the Valkyries take this very quickly, but it's wheeled around.
So it's the battle of the scrum penalties now. So this is one for wheeling.
Yeah,
and this push, illegal push.
And this one's going to go and stay in the hands of the Valkyries. So here's Snacks. And she's not able to send it out, but it takes a Austin bounce on the way into touch. So that works out well for Austin, as the Valkyries will have a lineup from a very precious area where they can possibly put this game a little bit further out of reach in front of San Antonio. And again, San Antonio not down by much. It is 22-7. Things can turn in a hurry.
Yeah, I think we're kind of seeing a little bit of settling here, you know. Quick couple of scores from Austin in the beginning, and then San Antonio was able to answer, and now I think we felt each other out, and we're settling a little bit.
Snacks. Great offload right into the middle of the defense. Able to bust down one defender. Still running. Great power in that run. Ball presents itself. McGee trying to find the try line. Can she touch it over? No, ball pops out once more time. They are so close, Tracy. And there it is again. Oh, man.
Now it's going to be a problem.
I know.
Oh, good defense there.
Even better tackle.
Looks like she got it, though. Really good tackle, though. I'm thinking that was DeLeon Desiree, I think, scoring that for Valkyries.
It can be a little bit of a difficult angle to see. I mean, we are right pitch side, so while we get the full sights and the full sounds, when it starts getting to the far side of the pitch, the numbers can be a little difficult to make out from here. But I definitely did hear that.
Yeah, Brick needs something. Oh, she's yelling for a medic.
So the medic definitely heard her. I guess we heard her as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Nobody appears to be down, but...
No, so
Oh, they're looking at Tessa. Maybe she's got a little bit of a bloody nose or something.
So yeah, she'll have a word with the medic.
Oh, shoulder.
And this kick is no good.
So Valkyries building on their lead a bit.
So 27-7 after the score. Unable to get the conversion, but the Valkyries right now sitting in high style as they do have the lead. And they've done a little bit of everything. Able to show off some power in the scrum, some nice runs, good hands. San Antonio able to answer back at least once in this first half, but they have been quiet a little bit as the game has progressed.
Yeah, and Austin's got a little bit of incentive. We heard last week that there isn't a fourth seed on the D1 side because NorCal and SoCal don't have a team because Life West moved up to the WPL. So with it being in Dallas and then the USA, this is going to be a long explanation now.
Yeah.
Into it, but there's a
now you're already delving.
Yeah, right. There's a subcommittee on the USA rugby team that I'm part of that we discussed some procedures for next year. But essentially, the second place team from last year would get that fourth seed. So that's Austin. So the Austin D1 team will join Houston, who did clinch the Red River. So now we have two teams from Red River going through. So now if the Austin D2 can go through again, then they've got two sides going to nationals. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, it'll be really exciting for the Valkyries. And right now they are on their way to possibly getting that through.
And they've done it every year. So experience is on their side.
Picked by Gutierrez. She tries to return this ball, and she's met by being taken into touch. Not much room to work with there as the Valkyries, man, they're really starting to fly around the pitch now. And you figured that their legs would start to wane here as we get closer to the half, but instead they just kind of kicked it into a second gear.
Yeah, and you do wonder, San Antonio played dark yesterday, so Dallas Athletic. beating them 64-12. So arguably, out of the two games, I think San Antonio had the easier semifinal, if you can ever call a game easy. So maybe a little bit of fresher legs. Austin's score was a little bit closer, in the 40s, I think 40-20 or so, something like that. So have to see, that when that second half comes around, which team has the fitness for this today.
And again, the heat, something new that everybody's having to contend with as we move on towards those summer months here in the state of Texas. Rennerfelt held up by the San Antonio defense. McGee. And she's pulled down hard. And an extra little stomp there as that ball comes loose.
So a little bit of hands in by Austin there, so they were losing the ruck and just thought they could put a hand down, but laser eyes by Kat Roach.
She was right on top of that call. I think most referees might have missed that. It was really quick. I really thought she was going to get away with it as she put her hand on top of the ball. Instead, Gutierrez will give this ball away to one of her teammates here, and she will go ahead and let Elliott probably just quick tap it. We've seen this before, and they're just going to try to run with some pace. As they give this ball to Campbell, who was met hard. San Antonio does have some size when it comes to their forward pack and trying to utilize them by getting the ball in their hands. But this Valkyries side, not even letting them try to approach that midway line. And it's been quite a while since San Antonio has been able to get a few faces connected.
Yeah, and it's tough to play defense for a long period of time. Anyone that's played, it's hard. It's much harder than having the ball in hand.
Yeah, you're always expending more energy having to chase the ball because you don't know where it's going to be, so you're running at full pace trying to get there. Whereas on offense, you have some decisions, you have an idea of where the ball should head. You know when you can kind of jog, and you know when you have to be at top speed. On throw.
Got some numbers out here. Portlock biting early.
Oh, and they have what they want here. Another terrific fend. Good pursuit, though, by San Antonio to close down the angle. And here comes Ramirez. She takes the ball. She goes to ground. Pulling this down is Garcia.
Nice tackle there.
Nisha Shipman wrapped around the waist as she was brought down. And trying to dig this ball out is Garcia. And it finally does come loose. Right into the hands of Tessa Dennis.
And Kinsman, 16 for San Antonio. Wendy's been all over this pitch today. She's just making another saving tackle there.
And it's a good ruck by San Antonio as to get possession back. It's a booming kick. That should take a San Antonio bounce as it heads towards the halfway line. It's going to be fielded by Amrabula.
Just carrying that ball in one hand. Always scary.
Good move, and look, Austin able to eat up all the meters that they lost. Oh, it was a hard tackle and hanging on for dear life on the way down as Harris was able to go right through her. San Antonio having to build the line again, and the ball comes loose. Are they going to call the knock? Yes, she does. And this is going to be San Antonio's ball. So a little fortunate for San Antonio, as even though they were able to get that ball out, the Valkyries just taking it right back.
Yeah, right back down their throat. But it was a good kick by Elliott Garcia to try to get some space and get a little bit of pressure relief. Just need to have that cover defense ready.
But I do have to question the tactic of just taking the quick kick so deep within their own territory when they haven't been able to get past the halfway line since their initial score. It's been quite a while. You figured they would just try to eat up some meters. Instead, try and take the fight right to the Valkyries.
Yeah, I'm wondering, the wind isn't too bad, but I'm wondering if that's factoring into the kick because she was right to do it. There was no defense back, but then you've just got to have that cover defense.
And this ruck bowing up right in the middle quickly. And the official, once again, she's been doing a terrific job in this matchup. Really looking out for player safety here. And we're just going to try to get this all set again. 27-7 our score if you just tuned in with us. San Antonio behind, but it will be their scrum.
As we talk about that, the tent starts waving and the wind is picking up, so maybe.
Yeah, we were talking about those kicks a little earlier. And even you mentioned it, Wendy, that maybe this wind and the unpredictable wind is the reason why those kicks haven't been
Yeah, feeling like they're a little pinned down, maybe.
Well, we'll see here. They'll try to kick it up, and right on cue, it looks like not only did it go off the side of the foot, but it got caught in the wind as well. And the Valkyries kind of pick up where they left off as Arambula, she went right into the contact to get this to McGee, and she is taken down from behind. And she releases cleanly. And it's going to be taken away by San Antonio. Fillmore making a nice play. Good hands here from San Antonio, but they haven't been able to make any positive yardage out of this.
Yeah, but they'll get the scrum here. Another opportunity to have a set piece for them. Sounds like the half might be up pretty quick here.
And one of the coaches yelling in just about 30 seconds to go. And again, that's just an approximation. Referee has the true time on her wristwatch. We can only speculate. But we do know that we are in the final moments of this first half of play at 27-7 in favor of Austin. It would be important, though, for the Riveters to have something positive to take away from the end of this first half. And you never know. A couple of passes go their way, they break a tackle, and they could be in scoring position. So the scrum works out with possession for the Riveters. And they do get that ball to the outside, and they get exactly what they were looking for. Ooh, a great open field tackle, though, to hang on to the ball carrier. And now the rest of the defense is able to reconvene. And again, this is Valkyrie-style rugby. They go on defense, they make their tackles, and they set their line. And now San Antonio having to try to push this ball forward, but they are doing so with some success, little by little. But it really is little by little.
Yeah, just inches.
You can see the gain line is being reestablished many times. Unfortunately, it's backwards momentum if you're a Riveters fan. Now they try to swing it out here toward the near side. Fillmore has the ball in her hands. Able to break away from one tackle. But again, Brenda Ramirez, unrelentingly, and she was able to come back and make the second tackle.
Yeah, working really hard there.
Campbell brought down. Is number 3. San Antonio still with possession. This is something that they needed, though. They needed to have the ball in their hands for a little while. And now you can see them. They're yelling. They're trying to get back into cohesion. As this ball outside, and again, it is great tackling, this time from De Leon on the outside. The wings really pressing up hard.
Oh, and she's stolen it now in this tackle.
Oh, and that's not what you wanted if you're a Riveters fan, as they were really starting to put the play together. Tessa Dennis.
Ooh!
And what a crunching hit!
Big
that one
tackle.
Is definitely going to be making the highlight reel.
I think that was Dietrich. It's hard to tell, but I think it was Dietrich.
Fillmore able to pick up the loose ball, though, get into the hands of Gutierrez. Gutierrez, she's played well. She's been running hard. Goes right into the contact, and now San Antonio just kind of keeping the ball close. That was Deck who hit the deck. Outside. Nice dummy pass as she's able to break through the gain line. And now San Antonio moving into positive forward positioning. And as soon as I say that, Austin very quick to back them up.
Yeah, but their hands are on the deck. They're essentially sealing. Yeah, so Kat's going to get him on that one.
And you see the AR here trying to enforce the call. It was like, hey, Reds, Valkyries, you got to move back every 10 meters.
And San Antonio could kick this out, and we could be at halftime, but they really want to score, which I applaud them for. Get some points on the board.
Well, if you can get a 20-meter run like that almost every single time, I say go ahead and take the quick kick. That is really the first time we've seen some great success off of that style run off of the restart.
Oh, chip. Oh, man, she almost got the chip, but it'll be intentional knock. This could be a yellow card. Yeah, it's going to be a yellow card. It looks like Kat's going to give the yellow here for intentional knock.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get through the first half without any cards presented. She's digging in that pocket.
Yeah, so it's that new interpretation of the law, so it's a risk versus reward. So if you put your hand out and try to catch it, you're risking a card. Obviously, if you catch it, you get the reward. So a pretty hard line on that. We've been taught as referees. because we've seen a lot of, especially at the international level, you'll see the ball slap down a lot. So it's just trying to get it out of the game.
No, and that really does try to just keep the play going.
It just frustrates everybody, and yeah. When it works, it's great, but when you're just slapping it down, it's just not good.
Exactly. How often does it actually work? It really is a true high risk, high reward play. But that worked out well for San Antonio. Now they have the woman advantage as well. Gutierrez able to save the ball back to Fillmore, and now getting pushed on the opposing way of the halfway line. Fillmore able to drag the ball and a couple of ball carriers or tacklers along over the halfway line after that last take. San Antonio still trying to close out this half, possibly with points, but they have to play perfect rugby. Big run as she uses the fend, and it's taking 1, 2, 3, 4 tacklers for the Valkyries to stop the ball carrier.
Yeah, they're trying to get in there to poach, but San Antonio's doing a good job of cleaning out those defenders and keeping possession.
And San Antonio very quick on the ruck, and they have that help. Now the Valkyries, they look to tire just a little bit. Campbell again crashing right to the line, and she goes right through it. And again, it's just crash and go, and it's working out well. I think they see that the Valkyries might have some tired legs, and again, the player advantage for San Antonio. Swinging the ball outside. Fillmore showing off the hands as she's able to catch it, but she is taken into touch by Arambula, and that should end this first half of play.
And they've just played 48 minutes. I mean,
wow.
Just, excessive amount of time there. So they're going to want that water break here and kind of collect themselves, and I'm excited for a second half.
Yeah, it's going to be a very exciting second half. San Antonio starting to put things together there at the end, getting that push that we saw that led to their initial try. But, I mean, Austin showing that this is not their first rodeo. They know what they're doing, even with a younger developmental side in a sense where there's some new players on there. But they seem to have filled in nicely as they currently lead 27-7. We're going to go ahead and take a halftime break. We'll come back and we'll have your second half of this matchup between the Riveters and the Valkyries up for you here on the TRU Rugby channel on YouTube.
Would that be alright if I did like an interview with the Blacks coach? Yeah, is that okay? Can I use this as a prop? I know. I'm so sorry, Randy. I'm so sorry. I just thought it'd be fun. All right, coming over here, coach. Hey, you know what? Yeah. But you can stand behind me.
It's like you're still taller. You know? I know how it feels.
All right, ready? Hey, everybody, I'm here with Tane, here, the head coach for the Austin Blacks, who, by the way, just won the men's Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3 state championship. So the first thing I have to ask you, coach, is how'd you do it?
Well, we've been, myself, Stevie, our assistant, and Ryan, we've been working together for 5 years now, so it didn't happen overnight. We've been putting the building blocks in to achieve something like this for a long time now, and for us to get over the line today has been, it's been great.
Well, fantastic, Coach. Now, what do you have going on from here? You have the D1 and the D2 and the D3 teams moving on. So what are you going to do to plan for the next phase?
I mean, we won't plan anything different. We'll take each step as it comes. Luckily, we've got all 3 games at home for the Western, so it's really encouraging. So we'll have a good home crowd there to cheer the boys on, and just stick to our basics and stick to our principles that we've been teaching over the last 5 years.
Well, fantastic, Coach, and congratulations on having the Westerns in your home ground. The crowd was great here for you. I'm sure they're going to be even better out there in Austin. Congratulations, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry. Hey, thanks. That was fun stuff.
Of course. So if Austin wins, we should do the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Listen, do you want to do it?
No.
Okay. You want me to? Great.
All right, folks, welcome back as we're getting ready for our second half of play in this women's matchup between the Austin Valkyries and the Riveters of San Antonio. Smash Justin Simmons alongside Wendy Young, and it was an exciting first half of play. San Antonio, they were on their back foot a little early, Wendy, but they were able to answer back, kind of stagnated there after Austin got a couple of extra scores, but then San Antonio finished off the half strong. What does San Antonio have to do necessarily, though, to get back into it here in the second half of play?
Yeah, I think we need to see more of what we just saw in the last 2 to 3 minutes there. I think we need to see a bit more. We need some line breaks. We need to see San Antonio use their forwards, and then they've got several talented forwards. We've got number 12 here, number 16. So we've got Diedick and then Cobb. I think it's Fillmore. The jersey numbers are a little bit different than the roster we have, but they've got some talented players, and I think we've just got to see some line breaks.
Yeah, and they definitely were the benefactor of a bounce of the ball there after a good tackle defensively. So after kicking it off, they have it right back in their hands, and now they're working the ball down. This is Cobb, a little shake and a bake here from Duan, and now Diedick able to get that ball down. San Antonio working the ball as they try to get pushing forward. They spun out here for the near side, a little end around. This works out well. Needed some help, and they get exactly what they're looking for. Are the Riveters. They're going from right to left, dressed in the blue, red, and white. And this ball right into the hands of Werman. And San Antonio really trying to answer the second half with the way that they ended the first half. Right to Tarleton.
Those halftime oranges must have been good.
They just needed those electrolytes. Keeping it sauce. This is Portillo. Portillo unable to get the score. Knock on offensively. This ball going back to Austin.
But really what we wanted to see that spark from San Antonio coming out of this half. Like we've been talking about, they've never been to this championship before. They've been to the semifinals before, but they've never been to the championship match. So really excited to see them here and want to see them perform well for the second half.
Yeah, probably came out with some nerves to start out this game. They scored. They realized that they could hang with this team. They got scored on upon twice. They had their heads down for just a moment, but then they started playing tough again, and it feels like they now have that confidence that you need to have when you're going against a well-experienced opponent like the Valkyries, who have been here many times. But San Antonio getting a good push before the scrum collapses.
Yeah, and I'm seeing now we've got number 8. So in my own handwriting, it's awful. Done, I think, now on the wing. So we maybe had a couple subs and then moving some players around. So I think I see 18 on for San Antonio. It looks like Gonzalez is on. So maybe moving some players around here, a little bit of a strategery for San Antonio.
Well, they do have a good amount of subs that they can utilize. So do the Valkyries, though, and you mentioned it before. I mean, the Valkyries side in general, about 40 players always wanting to play and always trying to add to the ranks. And again, you mentioned in that first half, the two San Antonio sides consolidating as one, and that ended up being, sometimes less is more.
Yeah, I think that was a really good move by them, and really good job of their leadership and their coaches to be able to bring the teams back together. And that's what we want to see. If San Antonio can have 2 women's teams, fantastic, but let's try to get one good team first.
In San Antonio,
jumping on that loose ball and scoring there.
Yeah, benefiting off of the penalty. Even though the scrum, it just popped loose, and that was a terrific heads-up play.
I think it may have been the scrum half scoring that one. So Tarleton, I think, touching that one down for San Antonio.
Yeah, it looked like it was the scrum half. We're still trying to see if we can catch the back of her jersey as she takes a well-earned, lengthy walk back to the restart. As you can see her talking with her teammate. So how was it? How did it go? It's just like, it was fantastic.
It was awesome. That ball popped out, and I was on it.
Now, they have shown the ability to kick, and the score now with that, it's going to be 27-12, San Antonio behind. This is going to be a big kick, though. I mean, it's in a good spot, but the wind, it's fluttering. It's not extremely gusting, but it does have some strength to it.
Yeah, and San Antonio had the wind in their face the first half, so we will see if they kick a bit more. Austin does like to kick. They like to put some space between them and their opponents, so we'll have to see if they try to just play with the wind a little bit.
No tee. She's just going to take it on the drop, and it does not work out. So the score will remain 27-12, but getting our first points of the second half of play, it is the Riveters of San Antonio. Well earned and well performed.
Yeah, I think coming out tough on, coming out quick on the second half is going to work well for them. We'll have to see how Austin answers. They're a little bit of a machine, so we could have to see what they do here.
So Austin getting back to the midway line after what they have, I think you could have safely said what they would have deemed was the successful stop of the San Antonio offense after getting the scrum, but that ball taking some odd bounces. In this case, it took a bounce for San Antonio. So the ball barely goes to 10 meters, and it had to be fielded. And San Antonio once again sure-handed as Tarleton, able to get the ball.
A little bit of different, a little difference here. We're seeing San Antonio doing a couple of picks here. So again, changing up their tactic.
Here toward the outside, trying to go with the fake. And now finally completing the pass. Nice dummy. Good hands and keeping it right down the line.
It's Diedick really making a difference here. She was the one that scored the only try for Sarah, the first try in the first half.
Oh, big hit there. As Gutierrez, not much room to work with. And again, San Antonio, though, continuing to try to fight on.
Yeah, and San Antonio's got major numbers on the right if they can move that ball.
But now the Valkyries defense starting to tighten up, starting to push back that offensive flow from San Antonio. The Riveters working the ball out of the ruck. And again, it's a great one-legged tackle there as Dietrich was able to upend the runner. And the ball came loose for a split second. And now it's a pure melee for possession. San Antonio back with it and to get over the halfway line. But that ball has not come out just yet.
And no surprise, it was Diedick again. She's just being all over this pitch for San Antonio.
She's just doing just enough to keep it going. Taking right into the contact. And she continues to blow right through this Comet. The hooker showing off the skills. More than just a forward, more than just a back, can do it all. Then again, playing that position myself, a little biased, right? Now they get it into the hands of Diedick. And like you mentioned before, she has been on a mission. Because they will set up once again. And San Antonio very fortunate there as she is hit hard going backwards, and she poaches the ball as well, so made the hit and took away possession.
Yeah, that's Farquhar from, she's a tough one. She tackled two players there.
That's that All-American pedigree.
Yeah, and Snacks putting it over the top, so not afraid of this bit of wind we've got.
And that was a hard rundown from Gutierrez as she's tackled from behind, but able to maintain possession. And again, just getting flung around by that Valkyrie defense. Oh, and another lift and hit. Wow.
I think it's Dietrich again. She's had two of those.
She's really bringing the pain. But now San Antonio, they're not backing down. They're willing to go punch for punch right now. And this will take a Austin bounce into the hands of Shipman. And there's the fake. Good tackle, though, from San Antonio.
Fillmore, I think, on that one. Tackle.
Really like what we're seeing here, but...
And Fillmore again.
She is just all over the place. Ramirez having to offload that. Arumbala cuts off of one, gets it to the number 14, De Leon. And De Leon, she is right there, but not close enough.
And I think San Antonio took that one into touch, so this one's going to go Austin's way. So nice line out for Austin.
So they'll be able to utilize this line out. And it looks like we're going to have a substitution as well for Austin.
Or maybe they were playing short because 12 is back on, so I think she may have just gotten her wrist taped, so she's back.
So Dama is back in.
Now we're having some subs. Here comes Chris Cardston, and the chef, Fishy, is on for Austin.
Oh, okay. I had to look for a
sorry.
Fishweiser.
Yeah, Fishy is Alicia Fishweiser, and then Chris Cardston.
I was going to say, which one's the chef?
Yeah, the chef is the larger one, and I don't mean that as in that she eats her own food, but I think she does, because that's good. I've had it. Chris is the little one coming in. She also was a UT player that I coached, so she'll come in at scrum half for Austin.
Now the Valkyries with some good support here. There's the fake, and now back into the hands of the number 12 who just returned in Gomez. This ball outside, and this will lead to a Austin score.
Yeah, just a really nice line out there, just taking it off the top, and then one quick ruck, and then out to the hands. Nothing fancy for Austin, getting back to business.
Yeah, Arumbala looks like she was the try scorer for Austin, and in this second half of play, after San Antonio able to open up the scoring, it is Austin who now make it a 32-12 contest. With the wind starting to pick up now, we're going to see if this kick can actually be converted.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, she's a right-footed kicker, Snacks, so she should be able to have the leg for this one, but it'll just be the wind.
And it's going to be a difficult angle, lots of wind to contend against as well. And now the ball falling off the tee. And I can tell you during the D1A college playoffs, I've already seen the ball falling off the tee cost one team a chance to advance.
Oh, really?
Yes, it did happen. They had to use that kick, and Austin and the Valkyries unable to get the conversion on this go-around. So 32-12, our score will stand.
Yeah, and San Antonio will need to answer. You know, the first half we saw them have a little bit of a lull and then able to pick it up. So hopefully they can answer here.
And San Antonio, as you can see, their pack trying to keep each other motivated. They've had some really good run of play, but the ball just taking a couple of bounces against them here when earlier on all the bounces seem to have been going their way.
Well, and you hear quack, quack, quack. That's Austin's banner. They picked it up from, you guessed it, Mighty Ducks. And yeah, that's kind of their rallying cry.
It's a great trilogy of films.
It is. I just rewatched. I had surgery a couple weeks ago, and I just rewatched all three of them. It was fantastic. My wife Tracy came home and was like, "What are you doing?"
I mean, well, which one were you watching? The first one, the second one?
All of them. I watched all of them.
All three?
I was laid up on the couch, so I watched all
so you
three.
made a day of it.
Awesome.
That's good.
Yeah.
On the restart, and it's going to be caught in just barely by the Valkyries. This is a good return, though, as she continues just to shed would-be tacklers.
They're trying to hold her up, though. It's a good tactic by San Antonio. Looks like she's able to get down. Chris is going to shove it out now.
McGee with the dummy. That was able to fool one tackler. And you can see the AR wanting the players to get back and hold the line.
Just a little bit of frustration there on Snacks. It was just a short pass from Chris, so she had to try to dig it out and couldn't, so just kicking it away in a bit of frustration.
Yeah, so offside for Austin. San Antonio's ball on the scrum. San Antonio has shown that they can do well with the scrum.
Yeah, they've definitely got some power in there. I'd like to see them use it a bit more here. But Austin has the experience in the scrum, so I think that's why we saw some initial shove by San Antonio, but Austin may have figured it out.
Tarleton will feed this ball in. You have to wonder if San Antonio would have the technique capable to just kind of put this ball on the outside and just continue to ride the push. Instead, they were ready to break off. Trying to find some room, and they get this to Dunn, and then into the hands of Diedick, who has been a great player for San Antonio, and again, just not stopping her run. She just continues to power through.
I think it's the power of the braid.
Oh, that was an even better tackle there from the Valkyries, straight up into the hole. Shipman beating the ball carrier. And now it looks like San Antonio running out of a little steam here, but they have good help. Just trying to keep it tight. Gutierrez loads it off, or offloads it as she was going to ground.
Yeah, a little bit of a funky offload, but they win, or they're okay here, or they get an offsides penalty by the referee Cat. And looked like Tarleton, or Port Hello, Gutierrez just took a tough hit there, but she's up.
So we've seen this before. They haven't wanted to go for points. This looks like this would be an opportunity to do so, but
Yeah, and they're not doing anything magical here on these taps. They typically tap it and give it to Portillo or to Rios. I mean, they're not doing anything magical here.
Yeah,
they're just trying to use their size.
Yeah, they usually just feed it to one of their front line. And you'll see here again, this time to Elliott with some support, but this time it works out well. She's able to bulldoze her way through about 4 or 5 bodies. And now trying to send it with another big body, and the ball comes loose. Valkyries able to get it back. And now trying to shovel it past the line. Knock on play, though, and this will go back to Valkyries.
So nice little spark there from San Antonio. Really looking to use their forwards a bit more, I think. And then Dietrich, I mean, she's just been everywhere. That power of the braid is just really helping her, you know, and making sure that she's breaking the line.
I didn't realize how long that braid was until you pointed it out, and I'm like, it's past her width.
Yeah, and she flips it everywhere if you watch her.
I
wouldn't want to get hit by it.
I know, it's like that song, whipping your hair back and forth. But she's just doing it on purpose. It's just as she's running, she's just trying to spin through and try to break away. And I'm sure that some of those tacklers get hit in the face with that braid. It does have to distract you.
And so again, San Antonio's had a couple switches here. The 8th that was on the wing is back in the scrum now, and now we have Dietrich on the wing. So different tactics here for San Antonio.
Oh, and this ball heading right towards us, and that would have been a knock if she was going forward. However, she was facing the opposite direction, so the ball just stays alive. Austin will play it. Valkyries, a little slight jog as she goes into the contact. Charlton there for the tackle. And this is a strong ruck from both teams, as they were both fighting for position.
Yeah, so no advantage. So referee Kat's going to come back for that scrum, so it'll be an Austin scrum. And I think we're starting to see a little bit of two-day rugby. See a little bit of limping on everybody's, a little grumbling. It's tough to play 2 days in a row.
Well, there's nothing wrong with watching it 2 days in a row, that's for sure. But having to compete for 2 straight days, you already had aches and pains from the day before. Maybe you gave it an all-out effort, but did you have enough in the tank to do it all over again? Oh, and by the way, this time it's going to be much hotter.
Yeah, and then you're going to do it again in 2 weeks and go to nationals and do it potentially, one of these teams.
Yes, and there's much more stress at that juncture just because it's planning for a much bigger trip. This ball cleared out.
Yelling and running.
Here to the near side, and she did step on the line, so that was a brilliant play by Fillmore.
It just dumped it into Denisha's hands and she didn't have a choice.
It's like, here, you take it. Shipman caught it rather, but her foot was already on the touch line, so this ball belongs to San Antonio. It's kind of like a play in basketball when you just touch it off of the...
You chuck it to the other guy,
and their foot's out of bounds, and they caught it out of reflex. Okay, a nice line out right here underneath the media tent. As we are here right next to the near touch line. And both teams contest. Valkyries able to swipe. And here come Austin as they are able to get it in the hands of Ramirez. And now they have some room on the outside, continuing this run. Over here now to the near side. They try to cut back inside past the midway line. Good tackle, though, from San Antonio.
Yeah, really nice hit there. She's in there trying to muck it up, but looks like Austin's going to keep it.
Yeah, get this ball free, and again, trying to just fend her way through. Got back to the original gain line, but that was about it on that last run.
And it looks like Austin's down a little bit. Ramirez was down looking at her ankle, so she's back in it now, but they've stolen it.
Oh, and now a terrific dummy pass as she faked it and keeps the ball in hand. She continues her run. And how many meters did she eat up there? At least 25. Wow, what a run from Folkyard. Valkyrie still with possession. Tessa Dennis. And trying to wiggle her way through. Still no go. Back into the hands of Tedesco. It will be Kathleen Tedesco. What's we call Grace.
Yeah, a little bit of crazy running there. Lots of one-handed offloads for Austin, but able to get that one eventually into Grace's hands, and she's able to touch that one down for another try in the corner. Or Kathleen, excuse me, another try for Austin in the corner.
37-12. As Austin has really put their stamp on this game now, and that is no discredit to San Antonio. I mean, they have fought hard, but just a couple of more bounces going in the way of Austin and just the experience. You can tell that anything that has happened has not fazed him in this contest.
Yeah, definitely Austin's taken advantage of some of the mistakes of San Antonio. You know, a little knock here, and Austin's been able to pick it up and turn it into tries, where San Antonio's having to work a bit harder for their efforts.
This is going to be an awkward kick from this angle, and again, that wind blowing right in the face of the kick taker. Do you teach kick taking?
I have in the past, yeah. I was a kicker for many years.
Okay, so you do have the skill. Something that I never really learned how to develop myself. I find it amazing that you can kick it from that distance on that angle.
It's tough, and my old coach, Meg Pace, we'd do at practice, you would attempt a kick, and if you missed, your whole team would have to sprint 100 meters, and you stood there while they sprinted.
Oh,
so
wow,
it was brutal.
That's like the worst
yeah, it was
way.
Awful.
Talk about pressure.
Yeah, so it was really good pressure, so you wanted to make the kick.
37-12, Austin, the Valkyries, I mean, just really finding their groove in this second half of play. San Antonio, they've had some success and they've had some positive play, but in the end, it's points that matter the most, and they have been unable to score any more than their 2 tries here so far.
Yeah,
one in the first half, here in the second half.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But again, from where they started this season, how things were put together, I mean, that's asking a lot. And for this team to come together so quickly, given the circumstances, and combined to have this type of showing just to get to this point, that has to leave them a lot to build for, next year. But this game isn't necessarily over just yet.
Yeah, we've got 20 minutes and we've seen crazier things, and I definitely think San Antonio, whatever the outcome is going to walk away from this match really proud. And like you said, they can build on this every year. And in the heyday, San Antonio and New Orleans played in the TRU, and they were the best teams in the nation. So, I mean, it's been a storied program for a long time, and it did go away for a couple of years, but really excited that they're back.
Yeah, and just all about trying to rebuild the legacy of the TRU and doing it with maybe some new teams that are making their mark now and showing what they can do on a national stage. Here in Texas, though, I mean, the Valkyries, one of those legacy teams that we know plenty about. And, of course, the Austin Blacks, from what we've seen to them this weekend, I mean, Austin, apparently a hotbed for rugby and great success for many of the franchises there.
Yeah, I mean, we believe for the first time in history in the United States, 3 teams from 1 CR going to nationals. We don't think that's ever happened before. 2 has definitely happened, but we don't think 3 has ever happened. Yeah, so that's a really big milestone for Austin rugby.
Yeah, the Blacks
really exciting.
The Blacks putting that finishing touches on that as they're able to get their second side to nationals, thanks to the win here today, just a few moments ago.
Yeah, so we've got another 20 minutes in this match, so we'll have to see what San Antonio can put together here.
So we do get that water break, again, because of the heat here for both sides.
Yeah, for all those teams coming, in a couple of weeks for nationals to Austin, we'll be at the Blacks Field. They luckily have a home venue at Burr Field. Just keep drinking your water. It is so hot here already. It's 84 degrees right now with about 70% humidity, so just keep drinking water.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you really can do. I think maybe some people at home, if they're watching this on their computer, laptop, if you're watching on your streaming device, like your phone, tablet, and you happen to be out and about, you might be in the sun. But if you're at home in the air conditioner, you're in the right place to be.
Yeah, find some heat and go run in it. You need it.
San Antonio will have to kick off again. Fillmore, she will send this into the air. Good kick, though. It was handled cleanly. And now the Valkyries looking to return. This ball fed low. And crashing right through. So nothing fancy here from the Valkyries now. We're about at the midway point of this second half. This kick will find itself over the halfway line.
Really nice job by Snacks there, just seeing a bit, there's no wings back, so let's put it up over the top and see what we can make happen there. So really nice kick, but San Antonio will get this line out.
Yeah, not the worst field position for San Antonio.
#1 fan right here.
And it's good to see the fans that are around and supporting these ladies here today. Still one more match to go before our broadcasting day is done here.
Yeah, we've got the Men's D4 Championship Park 2 versus Alliance 2. Really exciting.
And it looked like the RA kind of wanted to call that play back as the ball was a little offline. Instead, this play will continue on in favor of San Antonio. Gutierrez on the pick. And Portillo wanting the ball now, and she gets about right back to the original game line, and that's about it. It's going to be fed up by Novak. And into the hands of Deck. And again, Austin's defense pushing back that gain line. It was originally where the Valkyries are set up currently on defense, but now they are able to push it past the midway line and breaking right through the midway line. That was a crushing run for San Antonio.
It looks like we got a couple of subs on for San Antonio, so some fresh legs out there for them.
Elliott picking herself up off the ground as this ball continues and is lost in the scuffle. And the Valkyries able to steal the ball away yet again. So now Austin trying to show off those hands. And she forces the teammates to collide, and now here's some room. It's a 2-on-1. Good tackle in the open field, but the offload was picture perfect as Craston is with possession, and Kristen Craston will score the try.
Really nice job there by Austin. Really good job by Denisha. At first she tucked it into the shoulder, but it was just because she had two tacklers and was able to get that looping pass off over to Arumbala, and then being able to finish it off for the try.
Well, we saw both tacklers. They crashed right into each other as they were trying to make the tackle on the same person, but the offload pass was picture perfect, perfectly timed. And then Karsten, I mean, she had that speed and able to do the rest. It's now 42-12. As it looks like one of the players is having a bit
cramping,
of a cramp.
Yeah, we've had some cramping all weekend. Even the referees were having some issues with the cramping. It's just pretty, even for May. It's early May in Texas. It's still pretty hot for us already.
Well, everybody's still making some adjustments, though, because we have had that cooler weather during March and April, and these are really just starting to become the first really hot days for Texas. So everybody's still having to make those adjustments. It is kind of funny, though, in a game that is such high in physicality like rugby, as that kick is up and good by Snack. So 44-12 our score now. It's just that usually even the most painful hits, a cramp is still probably one of the worst things you can suffer, as opposed to getting hit really hard.
And debilitating.
Yes, as you can say, it takes you out of the game real quick. And again, both teams trying to get plenty of water. It's just a lot to contend with on top of the game as well. So we'll get ready for the restart. 44-12 our score.
Yeah, we've got about 16 minutes left, so still plenty of time for San Antonio to answer here.
And it was a great run there. Dietrich showing off the skill on the far sideline. Can anybody stop her? Able to evade one more tackle. She is pulled down from behind and into touch. So San Antonio not giving up on the play.
That was really good. Portlock missed her first time and then was able to catch up with her and get her on the second try once Cobb slowed her down.
Wow, that's because she missed her the first time,
yeah,
which is just crazy.
Yeah.
That's how much speed that that Portlock possesses. And that's one of the cool things about rugby, unlike American football. If you knock them out into play, it's your ball back.
Yep. Yeah, so San Antonio line out here. I'd imagine they'll kick this one just to relieve some of the pressure.
That's what we've been saying all match,
I know,
but they haven't utilized it too much.
They've made us liars.
They do have the wind at their back. It wouldn't be the worst idea, but they're not going to even get a chance to do that right now, as it's one back as Shipman Valkyries trying to put another try on the board. They're just exuding dominance at the moment.
We've got two San Antonio players down. One getting up to join back in. Oh, she may have knocked that. We'll see. No, it looks like she got good pressure on that one. Referee Kat in the good position to see that one. We'll have to see. I think maybe Fishy scored that one. Nope, it looks like it was Snacks.
Well, Snacks is making the most of this championship Sunday as she can just continues to rack up the tries. I believe that's her second one of the day.
Yep.
And the Valkyries, they kind of lulled for just a few moments at the end of the first half and at the beginning of the second half, but then ever since then, they have really just been on a complete tear. It's just been amazing to see them just turn it on just like that.
Yeah, it's been really good. Just having 2 clubs is really tough, and having to, we've got a lot of eligibility we got to deal with. The kick is good on that one, so nice job by Zoe. But there's a lot of eligibility you got to do when you got multiple sides, so credit to Austin's coaching staff being able to balance those eligibility concerns with multiple sides. And it looks like, unless something changes in the next couple of minutes here, Austin D2 will be joining their Austin D1 side at Nationals alongside Hark, who was the original #1 seed for Red River.
I mean, that's just a testament to the coaching for the Valkyries and the team for everything that they've been able to put together. I mean, everything's just running so streamlined right now. But, I mean, you have to give San Antonio a lot of credit to getting to this point. And so far, they've been playing some nice rugby. And, again, they've been close. I mean, they've really had some chances that kind of worked against them.
Yeah, I don't think the scoreline by any means, this is not a blowout by any means. I think the scoreline is actually a little bit deceiving. San Antonio's had quite a bit of possession.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like that. I feel like we would be doing them a disservice by just reading out that scoreline, 44-12 currently. But at some point, the tire legs catch up with everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
And Portlock, again, had it in her hands, lost it, gets it back, does San Antonio. And it's going to be
zone entry, side entry for Austin, so penalty for San Antonio.
And the San Antonio player still down, and again, showing that toughness to rise back up to her feet. Looks like she took a shot right across the bridge of the nose.
Yeah.
It looks like she'll be okay as well. So we've seen this many times today. No kicks, no ticks for touch. They're like, we don't want any of the fancy stuff. We'll just take it on the quick and we'll go. And that's exactly what they'll do again.
I mean, it has been working, so it's not necessarily doing a bad strategy for them.
Oh, no, definitely not. That was an easy 10-meter makeup there. Gets them past the halfway mark. And now it's just trying to bombard that defense little by little. It was a hard tackle made. Well tackled. Looked like it was Harris. So again, Snacks. Really just snacking on anybody with the ball right now.
Well, we got a new scrum half in for San Antonio. Novak's taking charge. She's putting her stamp on this match already.
And again, another hard hit this time by Shipman. Portillo, she'll pick it up. She'll try to take it over the line. And now getting some room here. And no, that is not a giraffe. That is just a golf cart. That's that noise that you hear in the background. With the run. Offloaded nicely. Fillmore with the fence. Stay in bounds. And she will finally be taken out into touch. And so close. I mean, really working out well there.
Yeah, really nice of a stiff arm to the face by Dunn. Just wish he could have stayed in bounds. It was a good run. Looks like we have a couple of subs for San Antonio.
Yeah, you would like to see him rewarded for their effort with another try before the close of this game, but just so much physicality there shown by both sides, and give credit for the officials just keeping everything balanced. Valkyries, they will take the line out. It's deep within their own zone. They almost lose possession. And it looks like the tackle's going to be made, and it's just beyond the goal line, just barely. Again, we do have that tough angle. It's going to be a score for San Antonio.
Yeah, I think she stole it and then was able to touch it down. Really nice job there. I'm not quite sure who scored it, but nice job by San Antonio.
And we'll tell you right now, that was Boone wearing the number 5. Right place, right time, and that is how it's worked out for San Antonio most of this afternoon.
Yeah, I think that was just miscommunication a little bit. They wanted to kick, but Snacks wasn't in the right position, and then San Antonio was able to take advantage of that. Smart play by Boone.
44-17. This conversion coming from a well-opportune area. As that wind starting to pick up, I mean, it is definitely better than the stagnant humidity that plagued some of the games earlier on today.
After she kicks this, we'll have about 9 minutes left of the match.
Yeah, it's been a really nice day overall. Lots of great rugby. A lot of fans make their way out. Some of them have left, but others keep on filling in. So it's just been kind of recycling through, everybody getting a chance to watch some great play. this is another thing too. They never brought out a tee. They've taken every kick on the drop. So, you know, sometimes you have to wonder, as that kick does miss, if it was one of those things that maybe they forgot the tee and never asked to borrow one, or they just don't utilize it. It does happen. You never know.
Yeah, and I mean, those 2 points can't add up. I mean, we could be sitting at 20, 19, 21, 23.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm in the same boat as you are. Math not my strong point. You can see me trying to add those 5 points in my head because I'm like, oh, that looks funny. How often do you add 5 to anything in any other sport in the United States? It's really rugby is the only one. But yes, 44-17. Valkyries putting on a clinic, but San Antonio showing that they deserve to be here.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe with a little more seasoning and another player or two, you just don't know how San Antonio is going to be next year.
Yeah, I know they've got some new players out there, new to the sport. They've got some seasoned players as well. So, but they're all probably getting their first taste of a championship match.
Well, it is always interesting because rugby there has a lot of similarities with a lot of games that are played in the United States. But until you actually have to go there and play with some of the rules that aren't so normal here,
right.
You know, we have some great athletes, but learning how to play the game properly, that does take some time.
For sure, absolutely. There's a learning curve for everybody.
Yeah.
Just couldn't quite handle that Cobb, so going down into the only dirt place on the field. They were filling that with dirt earlier today, so we'll have a scrum to Austin.
Yeah, this field being used a little yesterday and not given a lot of time to try to dry up after the downpour on Friday night. That led to the cancellation of the games where they were originally scheduled over in Lake Highland. But everybody very helpful. Dallas Reds doing a terrific job here, getting everything organized on the fly. Having some great contingency plans.
Yeah, that's why we have backup plans.
And San Antonio, I mean,
nice shove there, yeah.
They have to be really impressed with their scrum. They've done really well here today, and that's going to be a forward pass. And even from this angle, that pass was definitely forward. That's
there were
sure.
no questions on that one. So San Antonio scrum, we'll see if they can have a big shove again on this one.
And the clock just continues to tick away here. So this will be fed in by Novak. You see some of the men's sides, the last game of the day, they're getting ready. They know that they're scheduled for a 5 p.m. kickoff, so they're already ready to go. But this game, a lot of stoppages here in the second half. We've also seen some tries, so we got to see a little bit of everything here. I love the tenacity as she's able to get right back up and continue the run. She will not be denied. Look at her carrying about 5 tacklers. She formed a maul, but she formed it by herself. As she is able to just to carry would-be runners. This ball will come out, picked up, and it was not knocked on, so it will remain with San Antonio. Armstrong going down. Wanting the quick pass. Werman taken out hard. It was knocked forward by Austin, so San Antonio will just get it back. It should have an advantage here.
And we got 2 Austin players down. We got Brick and Denisha down.
And it looks like it might be some of that cramping as well.
Yeah, not serious, I don't think, but they're out of play for a moment.
And McGee back up. A ginger jog there for Shipman. And she gets back up and tries to get on side. And that's a knock on.
Yeah, unlucky there. San Antonio had a little bit of momentum going in the right direction and just unlucky knocking that one on. So we'll have an Austin scrum. Maybe 5 minutes left in this one. A little bit under 5 minutes. That's unofficial time, of course. Kat has the time of the day.
Well, Portlock unable to keep control of that ball, and we will have one more substitution made. At least it looked like it was.
Yeah, I think she's coming now.
So,
New front rows.
So substitution for San Antonio. And the thing is that people have to remember that the front row players are specific designations. So, you know, that way you know that they're the ones that are well trained to go into the contact that's necessary for the scrum.
Yeah, we don't want to put anybody in there that's like never done it before or even practice it. I mean, huge safety concern. So there are certain players. So it looks like there was a sub and then the lock has moved up. So
Yes.
the sub came in at the lock
It's
position.
it's definitely an art form.
And I did it one time in practice, and I was like, never, ever again. I want to be scrum half again. That sucked.
It's definitely a tight fit.
Yeah, I did not like it.
And there's because I mean, people are flying from behind you
yeah.
without you even knowing. You just have to have that feel. Good kick.
It was a good kick by Fillmore. It might go out the back. There's short little in goals here. Oh, did Austin bring it in? We'll have to
Yes.
see. We'll see
It
what
took
Kat
a
says.
tap.
Oh yeah, she brought it in. So it's going to be a 5-meter San Antonio scrum. So that really went in their favor.
And for San Antonio, this is going to work out well because they've had strong scrums before in the past, and you would expect them to just be able to just kind of lie it in.
Yeah, I think this is going to work out in San Antonio's favor. I hope they can make something come of this. We can bring up the ice cream, which I always bring up. Pushy try. Whenever I played, whenever we pushed it and win the scrum, we all got ice cream. So our cadence was ice cream, ice cream, ice cream.
It sounds like a great motivating factor, that's for sure.
I like ice cream. I mean, who doesn't like ice cream?
Those people that are lactose intolerant.
Then they have that lame
That's-
yogurt, right? Or that.
Well,
like,
no, they got that new
they
dairy
have the
product
new-
that
yeah,
you
it's
can
pretty
take
good,
now.
Yeah.
I've seen people go that route. And I
Yeah.
figured if I was ever allergic, that's how I would go about
Yeah,
it.
right? Because who can give up ice cream?
Who's going to give up ice cream and pizza and all those other
Good stuff.
dairy products?
I guess if you're
Vegan,
vegan, though,
yeah.
then you just choose.
That's a very Austin thing. Like, you already know that you're ready to deal with it because you see that vegan portion of the
Yeah.
menu. It's like, if it has honey in it, I can't have it because I'm vegan. And I was like, oh, that's right. Didn't think about that. My bad.
I feel bad for you.
I would just miss bacon.
For real, right?
I
Like
don't
a
know.
steak?
Oh,
And we're off topic.
I know. That's how you know we're from Texas, though. So you know we're here
Yeah,
in the
right.
great state of Texas. San Antonio, though, trying to make the most of this situation. Can they find the try? You see the ball presented. She crashes over the line. The referee's right on top of it. Still no score. The ball is out. San Antonio will try again. It's a good tackle. It's basically a handoff. And again, the Valkyries rise to the occasion to deny San Antonio. And you hear the crowd telling them to hold them. San Antonio, though, has some different thoughts on their mind. It is so close, yet so far. San Antonio, Taylor will take it. She is brought down. And those high visibility balls, they're really visible from this angle. And now just trying to truck her way through.
But
And
she met Brick, who's not going to let her through.
no, it was definitely... It's the
Oh, we
battle.
had some advantage, though. So penalty. So San Antonio could try to go quick. We see, yep, with their captain trying to go quick here.
Yeah, try and get that ball. This is what they specialize in, is that quick kick.
Kat smartly not going to let them go quick, though. She's going to hold them back so we don't have chaos.
So everybody lines up. Here we go. A little more of the same.
And that's the bargain. You go when you go in high, you're going to get wrapped up more than likely. So you got to go low, go for ankles.
It's like the immovable force against the unmovable
Yep.
object. But this time, San Antonio gains some push. Again, this ball just dancing.
No try. So,
Wow.
Yeah. End of the match.
And the Valkyries, a terrific stand to end this match, and it will end up a final 44-17. And the Valkyries will be joining the Austin Blacks on their way to the next phase for nationals. So we have one more game to go here today. Division 4, Hark 2, Alliance 2 is coming up next. So for everybody involved in this broadcast, for Nutmeg Sports Media, our production, that have been here all day and yesterday, one more to go. And then for Tracy Young, I'm the Smash Justin Simmons. We'll see you in just a few moments for kickoff of our final match of the day.